Sometimes life is really incredible. One moment you feel like giving up, and the next you see, I don't know, the life change occasion, the opportunity of a lifetime. But let's dive in slowly. Okay, what happened? So these days, I was a bit down. I mean, very down after months of not having success online, not being successful online. I was almost, I don't want to say almost giving up, but I was very demotivated. And these days, I was telling in yesterday's video, I had a very important game-changing episode where I was talking to my cousin's birthday. In the video of yesterday, I was telling everything about it. And basically over there were a group of people, so relatives and other relatives, that were listening to me, asking me like in a webinar style. And I was like, wow, people are really interested in what I have to tell. And this was already a game-changing moment. In fact, as I said, one moment you feel like giving up, and the next you see the breakthrough. And sometimes life's coincidences are just incredible, because not only this, but there was even something else. In fact, as if by fate, another moment later, the opportunity of a lifetime comes your way. Okay, so what happened? Basically, not only the episode of 2 days ago that I was telling in yesterday's video, but today, I don't know, yesterday I was talking about talking to multiple people like Tony Robbins, webinar style, etc. Today, I had another breakthrough moment, basically, when I was working this morning, that is this realization. And immediately after, this came to my mind. I was like, wow, it's everything incredible. By the way, so what happened? So let's start diving with this one. So basically, this morning I started to do my normal stuff. I was working on the back end of my business. I was doing some stuff. And what happened is that I was catching up with one group of coaches and entrepreneurs that I'm following. And I was asking them if they could please helping me to catch up with the news that there were in that group, basically. And I was like, sorry if I was missing these days, but I was very busy, demotivated, other stuff, but I always pleased to come in this group. And there I had the realization, because I was just writing normally. I was telling that the reason why I appreciate so much the group is due to the group owner, Nick Gibson, or Nick Gibson, I don't know the pronunciation, sorry, an Australian guy that is amazing, because since I met him, he was so nice that surprised me, because I'm still relatively new to the world of business owners, and one thing that I never liked is the sell at all cost mindset. And when I met this guy, Nick, I really appreciate the approach that he had of helping others as a service. So he was just genuinely helping others. Yes, should be always the case, but you know how it is really. And this guy was like not interested on selling. Of course, he is a business owner, so he is interested in selling. But the way he was doing that was like just incredibly positive. So you were like feeling good on being sold with something, for example. So this is what I realized, and this made me reflect on this point that was just a realization of a lifetime, because I realized that one of my main core values is the win-win business mindset. But let's dive in on this. So basically, for who doesn't know me, I have a background in a school of medicine in Italy. So I have this background. Of course, I'm a drop-off. Of course, not not of course, but I just did drop off the university because it was a no moment in my life, and I just took a pause. And to be honest, I'm still in that break phase. Let's say, still a bit long, but yeah. And one thing that I learned from the medicine background is seeing people in the hospital, like people that are really struggling in life, that are not feeling good, as something like this. And the thing that was very helpful is to learn the empathy, basically. So you understand how people are feeling. You don't want to take advantage of them, but you want to help them genuinely. This is one of the medicine principles that was very stuck in my mind. So plus the Red Cross syndrome. So basically, this one should be a good point. Normally it is. So when people are just rushing to help you because they want to help you, I said it should be a positive point, but there is the downside. So now that I understand a bit of psychology, I understand that this one is not really a good point, because sometimes it's due to an internal suffering. So probably the inner child was feeling not enough during their life, and basically to feel valuable, to feel enough, he understood that he needs to help at all costs the others. And this maybe is seen like a good thing in life, but it's not really, because it's an internal sufferance. Yeah, we want to help others. This is one of my life goals, but this one is a bit different. By the way, I have both things, so let's say it's not the best, because sometimes we sacrifice ourselves in order to help others. And those things were getting me stuck on my business. But let's go. Okay, so basically, today I realized that one of my main pillars in life and in business should be the win-win business mindset. So I always hated the sell at all cost mindset, and this basically stopped me for months on promoting my services, because I was feeling bad, like I was taking advantage of others and I couldn't do enough of it, basically. Because my background, except this, so I come from an humble background. So my parents are both nurses, so they come from the hospital and medicine background as well. Plus, is a kind of 9 to 5 job, so not well retributed, so not good salary, let's say. Yes, it's good to survive, to stay good, to stay literally good during the normal stuff, but you cannot spend too much, because you need always to be careful, etc. So it's a different life from the entrepreneur life. Plus, I never had an entrepreneurship relatives, basically, background, and this was something that was new to me. So basically, sell to other people for me was a new thing, and feeling even bad about it. And this is very, very, very common, I understood. And not only was feeling bad, but because I was feeling like taking advantage of people, especially because I have been there. And this was one of my main struggles. And I didn't promote my business because I felt like it was going against my values. Thanks to my psychotherapist, because we worked a lot on this, and several coaches, I mean several, because seriously, right now I have 3 coaches active, plus the previous ones, plus the course that I took. I don't know how many people were fighting with me about the imposter syndrome. And in these days I was talking about this, the imposter syndrome, because I was stuck for a while. I couldn't figure it out, because I was like feeling a fraud in a certain sense. And basically I realized that the problem wasn't selling itself, but how I viewed it. because like I said, the background of my family, no entrepreneurs in my relatives. I never seen an entrepreneur in here basically, because I always being surrounded by people with 9 to 5 jobs, this kind of stuff, and I was seeing this entrepreneurship journey like taking advantage of people, selling at all costs, etc. And when I started doing that, of course there were the aggressive marketers and this kind of stuff that confirmed my bias basically, and this was terrible. But yeah, with the help of my psychotherapist and several coaches, basically, I summed up my new approach with one key principle. My goal is not just to sell, but to genuinely help. This was the key realization that I did this morning, thanks to Nick and these days' events. Because, for example, 2 days ago, when I was talking to my relatives, basically, what happened is that they were so glad that I was talking to them, and they were promoting me like, please do this more, like sell more, because you're literally helping others. And this was helping me a lot to change my limiting belief, basically. So my core principle would be that every product or service that I offer must bring real value to people's life. A sustainable business is built on trust and mutual growth. If the client doesn't gain as much as I do, it's not the right deal. And this is very important, because I don't want to sell at all costs, because the impact matters more than the sale. I don't believe in the sell at all cost mentality. I'm not interested in making a sell unless I'm sure my product or service can truly make a difference. If the value isn't real, the sell doesn't make sense. To stay true to my values, I need to know that I'm genuinely helping people. And this is very important. And that's why this realization of today was so big and important. Okay, what to say? Basically, I didn't realize, but in the past I was doing this. When I was working in the gym, I wasn't selling myself, I wasn't marketing myself, I was just helping others, raising the prices because I was busy, and people keep coming to me, and basically I couldn't help anymore. Literally I reached my limit at that point, because I was even sleeping in the gym floor. It was terrible. No time for myself. I was literally sacrificing myself because feeling bad of not helping more people. I had 4 months my calendar full of appointments. Yeah, for the money was amazing. Sometimes I was even forgetting to require payments and everything, and some people were taking advantages of it. Okay, that's another story. But I was happy, I was selling, I was in business, and I didn't realize that. Why I wasn't feeling bad? Because I was feeling that my services, and they were pricey at that point, like a physical coach, even above 450 pound a month for each single client. They were kind of pricey, and I was basically full, literally full capacity. The only problem was that I couldn't scale and I couldn't live, especially. But I wasn't feeling bad at all. I had people that were with me for years, basically, but not feeling bad. Why? I didn't think about this. So the focus was, and right now is, on helping, not just selling. Like I said, this medicine part is very important. The doctors and medical figures, basically, they sell their services, even my psychologist, for example, but you don't consider them like taking advantages of you, because basically what they offer is much more important than some money. So they literally can change your life. And the same with the services that I was offering to the gym floor, because I was changing other people's life. Some people that were struggling and had some problem, even cardiovascular problem, mental struggles, because gym is, a mental relief mainly. Over there, I didn't feel bad for this reason. So you pay a doctor, you pay someone to help you, a physiotherapist, a psychotherapist, whoever. You pay and you don't feel bad. Actually, you feel glad that you paid them because they helped you. This is the point. We are here to help you. Yes, they receive a contribution, retribution, whatever, but doesn't sound like selling. Basically, it's totally different because the value is much higher, and this is a very important thing. And this was like, okay, I need to shift to this point. So the focus was and will be even more now on helping, not just selling. In fact, one phrase that really hit and helped me was, if the value is real, the sale is just a consequence. Like I said, in the gym, I wasn't promoting myself. And I was full because I was there laughing, helping people, and even if they were struggling in life with nutrition, with the gym, we were just there laughing, enjoying those sessions, and they were having even results. This is the point. The value was more than real, and the sale was just a consequence. I wasn't even selling hard selling. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't study nothing. I'm studying marketing now, so imagine at that point what I was like, zero. Even sales, there are some sales strategies, this kind of stuff. I was totally zero. I was just an employee, a 9-to-5 job, put in the gym floor, try to do something. Yeah, I was just passionate about nutrition, training, and everything. The sale was just a consequence because the value was massive. And I know this sounds like a lot like marketing, but this point was a key point for me because the imposter syndrome made me stuck with this for months, because I was afraid of not offering enough. The only way I overcame this was by creating a service that delivers more value than it costs. This will be my main focus on the future. So to create and improve always my service to the point that doesn't matter how much I charge. 100,000 K, okay, my service should be even better. In order that it should be a no-brainer offer. That's the point. Because of course I want to make money. This is the foundation of any business. But I want my client to gain even more. Maybe the translation from Italian. Okay, yeah. Okay, no. He translated well. Good ChatGPT. But so basically I was saying, of course I want to make money, because this is the foundation of any business. But I want that my client gain even more value from it. And this is the principle of the doctor, basically, of the medicine. I understand, though, that the perception of cost is subjective. For example, for some people, even $100 service can feel unaffordable or too expensive. And that's why I work to create products and services that have a real tangible value that far exceed their price. And if something doesn't have the resource, if someone doesn't have the resources to invest, I'll do my best in any case to help them anyway, providing free value where I can, without compromising the sustainability of my business. I don't sell for the sake of selling. I want people to trust me for what I do, not because of a marketing strategy. This is a very important point, because this one, I came from, I don't want to say poor background, but 9-to-5 job, you kind of live okay, but you don't have like those amount of money that you can do whatever you want. And sometimes even $100 service can feel unaffordable or too expensive. And that's a very important point, because I totally understand them. I will not push anyone, but in some cases, yes, I will explain in the next point. This one is a very important point. So basically, I want to say that I will push only when it truly matters. What does it mean? So basically, in my work career in the gym, I can say, now that I have a kind of background in psychology, that only 3 people had really needs of physical help, basically. So there were people that the doctor sent to me, saying that they need help, literally. And one of them basically was a father of 3 children, around 40 years old, probably, if I'm not wrong, was from Pakistan. So basically, I can understand that for them, money were very valuable. It was a 9 to 5 job, 9 to 5 employee as well, but higher grade, like a supervisor or assistant manager, something like that. So he was earning more than the average person, but probably the background from Pakistan, he was seeing like the investment of my services, and I was at the beginning, so offering like £150 for a few sessions basically. It was like, no, this is expensive, something like that. I was refusing, and that's why I say for some, even $100 service can feel unaffordable or too expensive. Of course, he had those money, but the point is that he was comparing basically those money with what he can do with this money in his country, for example. And because he wasn't interested on the service, so lots of people come to the gym because they need help on improve their situation. He just went to the gym because the doctor mandatory sent him there. I was like, he didn't want to do that, to be honest. And you can feel it, to be honest. It was, the doctor said to me that I need to improve my life, otherwise I will not survive too much. Because he was, 40 years old, but he was way more than 100 kgs, way more. And basically just reached to me there, and he wasn't interested. I didn't push him, not that much. I tried to sell, of course, because maybe I wanted to earn some money, because I was at the beginning and everything, but I didn't push. Like I said, my background was shit, literally. By the way, I regret to not have pushed this guy, because sometimes the fear often outbacks those who would have the most to gain. And I can do the example with myself over that guy, basically. In fact, for example, I say this as someone who spent months hesitating before making the biggest investment of my life, at that point at least. So there was a point of my career where I needed to invest. Basically, I wanted to invest $10,000 that at that point for me were a lot, literally a lot. I just was afraid, and for months I was stopped not doing that, until a point that something went wrong with a client. I was like exhausted of this life. I said, fuck off. And that was the trigger. I invested. Of course, at first, the few days and weeks after, I immediately regretted it. Like, maybe this was the wrong choice, this kind of stuff. In the long run, just after a few months, I was like, this was the best decision I have ever made. Seriously. Because I was literally afraid, because like I said, I come from an humble background, and for me was a lot of money. But sometimes those investments are so valuable that you feel like very good. And this is the example of that guy, because we talk about money, but money comes and go. And the health, for example, for this guy, I really regretted to not have pushed, and that's why I'm telling about pushing, because I don't want to push anyone, of course. But sometimes people hesitate because they're afraid of change, investment, or failure. And if I know that this service, my service, can truly make a difference in people's life, I'll do everything, almost, to guide them, to understand those fears, to overcome them, not to pressure them. That's different. I don't want to do aggressive marketing. I hated it. But I want to help them to see the opportunity, the value for what it really is. Because sometimes the real obstacle isn't money or time, but the fear of taking the right step. In fact, this one, afraid of change, investment, or failure, is very important. To be honest, I really regret to not have pushed that guy to my services, especially when it was very cheap, because I was feeling like a fraud, because like I said, I didn't need to push people in order to have sales, and I didn't do with that guy. But that guy was 40 years old man, so young guy. We cannot consider that one an old man. 3 children, and his life was at risk for his health condition, very bad health condition. He couldn't breathe properly. He needed to do exercises, cardiovascular exercise and everything. And I didn't push him because I felt like salesy. But now I regret it because I could change his life, and I don't know, sometimes I feel bad thinking about him. I will talk more probably in the future, because I can imagine that one day those children will be orphan, even in a certain way, because I didn't push him enough. And this make me feel a bit bad, to be honest, because imagine you could change someone's life just pushing them a bit. And to be honest, a piece of paper, money, they come and go. We spend so many money during the days, weeks on bullshits. And when it's something valuable, we don't consider them. As I said, this guy was pushed by the doctor. He had no interest on improves. And of course, I cannot force someone that is not interested. But if someone is really interested in changing his life because he feels like bad, and I just need to push a bit in order to make them understand how important it is, I will do that. Because literally, there is no amount of money that has the same value of living more years of life, and especially with a better quality of life. Imagine this guy could die in 5 years, in 10 years, and instead that decision, spending, I don't know, £1,000, £3,000, especially when it was cheap, could change his life, adding 30 years with good quality of life, good health, and enjoying more the food without regretting it. Nothing can be valuable enough like this. There is no amount of money. 100k? No. 1 million? No. Because money will go, but adding years and quality of life is unmatched. Totally. So to be honest, this one is something that really eats me still, because this one is something that I would always regret. I need to be careful, because seriously, some people are just afraid. I was one of them. Instead, you can change people's life. Of course, even with some doctors, some decision looks pricey, but they can change your life. So please, guys, spend money for your health. And this is not a marketing strategy. It's just a genuine consideration. Health is the most important thing that we have. When I spend money with my psychotherapist, I'm glad that I did. The next month will be the 2nd year of spending money with a psychotherapist. I am so happy that I did it. I will do that again. And fortunately, I didn't have any physical problem because I'm an healthy guy. But if you have some struggles, please spend those money. This is the best investment you can do for your life. Don't forget it. And last point, this is a kind of summary. Trust is everything. As I said before, the best marketing is a product that solves a real problem so well that it sells itself. And this is my goal. I don't want clients persuaded by aggressive marketing tactics, because I hate them. And I want clients who choose to work with me because they trust me. Because a sustainable business is built on mutual growth. And if we don't both win, it's not the right deal. My approach to business is guided by a clear principle. Success must be a benefit for both parties, not just for the seller in this case. So today I did this big realization about the win-win business mindset. And this helped me to overcome my imposter syndrome. So I'm very happy. Okay, let's summary this. Like I said, sometimes life's coincidences are just incredible, because I was kind of feeling like giving up. And this day's episode about that kind of live webinar was a game changer. I felt so good, and people were so happy that I was talking about things that I could sell, and they wanted to be sold basically on those services. And this made me realize that the service that we can offer can be really valuable. So don't be afraid of selling something that can help other people. Even the simplest services, for example, even Netflix, Amazon, they are kind of stupid things, yeah? But they can help other people's life, even to feel better. Even, I don't know, a Netflix series, for example, can make you laugh, feeling better. And you value those money, they are well spent. So if these help other people, do that. And this was the first breakthrough. But not only that, even this morning, so was a game changer. Because I realized why I was staying with this guy, because he wasn't approaching me like selling at all costs, but trying to help. And I was so glad to be in his group, to pay for his services, and especially in the future, because I want to do more coaching one-on-one, this kind of stuff, because he's a genuine guy. And not only that, another moment, the opportunity of a lifetime. So basically, after this, still this morning, in the meantime, I was going to the gym. Basically, I had an occasion, the opportunity. It was offered me the opportunity, life coincidence, literally, to speak in front of some people, a good amount of people. I mean, there are no 100, of course, but let's say, I don't know, maybe it would be 10, 50, maybe 100 people. And these days was kind of a preparation, I don't know. So a few days ago, I talked about in front of people. Now I realize this. Yesterday I was talking about Tony Robbins on stage, and today I had this opportunity that if will be confirmed, I will tell you more in the next days. But basically this will be my first webinar live, I don't know how to call that. And I was shaking because I was like, oh shit, I don't know. I never been able to speak in front of so many people. Now it's a bit different, but still feeling afraid. And not only that, coincidentally, my coach, one of my free coaches, right today delivered a YouTube video about basically webinar. He never talked about this. And today was talking about this for more advanced business, etc. Well, I don't know. Life coincidence sometimes are truly amazing. I feel like, by the way, something changed in my mind. I feel so good. I'm happy. A bit anxious about the next steps and what to do. I need to rush. I don't know. Something is changing. And I'm happy to share with you everything, because as I said at the beginning, I wanted to share all the moments of this journey, the good and the bad moments. Maybe I didn't share all of them, but I was talking about my imposter syndrome, this kind of stuff. And now finally the worst part probably is gone, and now I'm happy to go further. And what to say, I don't know, the opportunity and the coincidences are just incredible. So happy to share more with you, especially for the people that will follow through. Happy to share my journey to $1 million of my business. And today I shared one of my core pillars that I will have through my journey, that I will keep through my journey, because I want to do this in the best way possible, helping people to feel good and to improve their life. This is the way I want to earn money for living. That's it. That said, I don't know the next steps. I just feel a bit confused, a bit excited, a bit anxious, a bit fearful. But this is the life and the opportunity that are in front of us. Let's try to see how they will be and what they will bring to us. That said, thanks for listening, guys. I'm so glad for everyone who's following through. And thank you, to be honest. And I'll see you in another video.